Hello, music fans. You're watching Death by Unicorn, where we talk about metal, rock, and prog music. And today I'm doing something a little different. I don't usually do reaction videos on my channel, but I figured I'd give one a try. I got this news in my inbox from Will from the great music label Season of Mist, and I always appreciate when he shares some great new music with me. So, Season of Mist recently reissued Cryptopsy's debut album, Blasphemy Made Fresh. They reissued this on July 18th, 2025. The original album came out way back in 1994. It was an early example of brutal technical death metal. And yeah, I guess they just missed the opportunity to reissue it on the 30th anniversary. Unfortunately, I guess it's been about 31 years since it came out. Maybe they were shooting for that behind the scenes to release it on the 30th anniversary, but close enough, good enough for almost the 30-year anniversary. And along with the reissue of the original album, the current lineup of the band only features the drummer that was on their original debut album at this point, since they've gone through many lineup changes. But the current lineup of the band actually made a medley based on their debut album, and that medley features a bunch of interesting guest musicians like Ben Dewar from Shadow of a Tent, Bridget Lynch from Stabbing, Alexander Sazin from Undeath, Johnny Ciardullo from Carcosa, Malika Sundaramurthy from Emasculator, and two-time Grammy winner Billy String, who plays a wild guitar solo on this. And I think making a medley like this is actually a great way to honor a classic album from a band's past after going through lots of member changes. I think this is a lot classier than what we saw earlier this year from bands like Chiodos and Atreyu in terms of approach. Chiodos and Atreyu re-recorded their entire classic albums this year with different lineups than what were on the originals. But this band, Cryptopsy, even though they have a different lineup, they're just reissuing the original album by the original band. They're not recording the whole album again. Um, this band, they didn't make it all over again, but they made something new here with their current lineup, which is a medley of the songs from the original combined together in a cool way. So it's like a new piece of music with great guests. And I wanted to react to this track, but I had never actually heard the original debut album until lately. I just checked it out. I listened to it twice before this, so I can hopefully appreciate the medley more. Um, so yeah, I'm not like a diehard Cryptopsy fan or anything. I've heard a few of their albums, but I haven't heard everything that they've done, and I like what I've heard. But I hadn't heard their debut until once yesterday and once today, just to kind of get a feel for it before I dive into reacting to this medley. And their debut album, Blasphemy Made Fresh, is certainly an intensely brutal and fast display of technical death metal from the early 90s. And it's unlike anything that really came out around that time. I was most impressed in the debut by the drumming, which I really enjoyed. The guitar riffs were pretty great too. But the production and recording quality of extreme metal around 1994 just wasn't what it is today in terms of clarity and quality. So the guitars don't sound the best. The hardest part for me to get into in the debut from Cryptopsy is the vocals. They're all very harsh. They're not really to my taste. Even though I do like a lot of harsh vocals, I respect their debut album. I think it's a good debut. I'd probably put it in my good tier if I was rating it, but I'm really curious to hear what the current band does with it because I'm more familiar with their current lineup, more a fan of what that current lineup does. Their last two albums that they put out, I thought were very good to excellent tier material. So I prefer their newer two albums over their debut, which maybe blasphemy to like hardcore early death metal fans, but it's just where I come from. I'm more of a prog metal, prog rock kind of fan, so not as well versed in this early death metal, early tech death stuff. But let's dive in. That's a really long preamble. I'm just going to react to this track. It's 8 minutes and 26 seconds, so a bit of a lengthy track, but nothing too crazy here. For a fan of prog, this is a pretty standard length song. And yeah, like I said, it's a medley. So you can see the different parts: Defenestration, Abigor featuring Alexander Jones, Born Headless, Swine of the Cross, Gravaged, Open Face Surgery, and Pathological Frolic featuring all the guest vocalists. So I guess there's 7 sections to this medley. I don't remember how many tracks were on the debut, to be honest. I don't know if that's every track. But I'm going to hit play and we're going to listen to it together, and I'll just react in real time and hear what I think of it. So really fast drumming right off the start. Just growl there. Nice bass. Back into the blast beats. Nice tremolo picking guitar there. Alright, let's moving into the section 2, Abigor featuring Alexander Jones. Then we did the Born Headless featuring Johnny Ciardello. Those are some really low gutturals. Waltzy death metal. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're back to a 4/4. The drumming just goes really hard here. And these guttural vocals are so low. The guitar riffs sound really fun to play. Sounds like it could be really fun music to just play and headbang to. Now we've moved to Swine of the Cross featuring Bridget Lynch. I actually love the sound of the bass on this. The guitars on this medley sound a lot better than on the debut too. And the vocals sound better on the medley too than the debut for me. So far I'm liking it. This newer, more modern version actually better. Ravaged, featuring Ben Dewar of Shadow of the Tent. Nice bass. Another ad. So I'm not used to doing these reactions, so I'm not really a professional at this, so I haven't really figured out my system here. So you're going to see some ads for Tide. If you want some laundry detergent, go for it. And Old Spice. All right, now back to the regular programming. Yeah, that's a good riff to groove to. We're just going fast with the drums again. Now we moved into Open Face Surgery featuring Malika Sundaramurthy, the Emasculator, and Billy Strings. Here we go with the guitar solo now. So I guess this is Billy Strings. Yep, shredded it up. Nice, really good solo there from Billy Strings. And I like this. Like that riff, that's a good one. Okay, now we are at the last section, Pathological Frolic, which features all the guests coming back, I guess, and doing vocals. All right, and that is it. Wow, that was really something. I'll stop sharing my screen here so we can just focus on my thoughts now. Um, wow, maybe Cryptopsy should just make medleys like that for all of their albums. I would because I actually like listening to that medley. I appreciate it more than listening to the debut album, which is probably Blasphemy, and I'm probably going to get some angry old school death metal fan commenting saying that's blasphemy. But I like this better. I like the sounds of the guitar better, and I like the vocal sound better on this, and the bass sound better. The drums I actually really like on the original, and then this version they're maybe a bit more like on the grid and robotic sounding, but they're still like amazing in both versions. Um, and they sound, real, but there might be like sample replacement now in the modern version. I don't know. I'm not like an expert on the production or anything, just speculating here. But it's very good. It really like I'd call this track excellent tier track. Um, just as good as the stuff that they're putting out on their most recent album, which is my favorite thing that I've heard from them so far is their album from this year, which I already forget what it's called, which is really bad. I probably should have looked at that before the reaction so that I could plug that as well. It's called An Insatiable Violence is their album that came out in 2025 that I love it. Excellent tier album. Um, Yeah, it's probably not gonna make like my year-end list or anything. It's not gonna be top 50, but it'll definitely be top 150, which is pretty good because I listen to like 400 albums a year or so. So yeah, very excellent album that they put out this year. And their debut is a good album, but like rough on the production. Maybe if you like that old school death metal sound, check out their debut and check out the reissue that Season of Mist just did. But this medley, I think, is a must hear for anybody who likes technical death metal. If you like it on the brutal side, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, of course. It just blasts you with blast beats the whole time and brutal guttural vocals, but really great drumming. Just, I don't even know how you could play drums in a band like this without being exhausted by the end of the show. That's just crazy. And then same thing with like doing the vocals, your voice would just hurt like hell after. And the guitars are fast and they're tremolo picking and the riffs are groovy and head banging. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this track. Really enjoyed it. I'll be checking out anything that Cryptopsy puts out in the future, and maybe I'll explore more of their back catalog. Hope you enjoyed my quick reaction here to this medley by Cryptopsy. The medley's called Blasphemy Made Fresh, kind of a pun on the name of their debut album, which is Blasphemy Made Flesh. So this is kind of a fresh new look on that album. Uh, if you like this video and you want to see me do more reactions, comment below and let me know what kind of songs you want me to react to. Maybe I'll do some more in the future. Maybe I won't. If this isn't fun for me, I'll stop doing it. Or if nobody cares about it, I might not do it. I usually post more like first impressions of albums and stuff like that rather than song reactions. But I figured I'd give this a try. Let me know what you think. And if you like metal, rock, and prog music, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I talk about new stuff as it comes out all the time. Uh, my next video will likely be giving my first impressions of new releases from August 8th. So if you want to know what's coming soon on my channel, I'll be checking out Lucid Planet, ACT, Crypt Sermon, Black Braid, Attack, and Baby Metal. And I'll be giving my first impressions on their new albums that are coming out August 8th, 2025. So stay tuned for that and peace out.